Hey NASCAR fans, long time no see, right? I've been busy trying to get my TikTok, Checkers or Wreckers, channel going there. On YouTube, Checkers or Wreckers, trying to get that going. And I'm working now. I'm working at Save a Lot as a stalker, so that's pretty cool. 3 days a week. I'm glad that's finally worked out. That's been something that's kind of been in the works about me going to work for a while. Thanks to the current administration that we have, I'm not going to work because pretty much had no choice, and just want to get to work and provide and do the best I can, pay it in, set my retirement. Hopefully, get me a home. Me and my wife get a home down the road. So, next 3 or 4 years, 5 years. So, there's a plan. So anyway, that's the reason why I've been off here, been working and doing all that stuff, getting all my ducks in a row. But I want to talk about a couple things. First off, I received this in the mail today. I requested a Jeb Burton Hero card last month, and I forgot I even requested it, and here it is in the mail. Let's open it up and see what it looks like. Again, go to TikTok, and there's a picture of me and Tony Stewart shaking hands at cavalcades. Go give that a follow. Also, my YouTube, Checkers or Wreckers, it's got the same picture, me and Tony Stewart. Go give it a subscribe. I appreciate it. So here's my Jeb Burton Hero card that I requested. Jeb Burton is Ward Burton's son. Harrison Burton's his cousin. Jeff Burton is his uncle. You also get a matching sticker. Pretty cool, right? So I didn't expect that to come in the mail today. Like I said, I totally forgot that I ordered it. But also, want to talk about, the whole contract situation, what's going on. There's a lot of things going on. Hey, Travis, doing all right, man. Been working on my YouTube channel and working on my TikTok, which is called Checkers or Wreckers. Got me and Tony Stewart shaking hands. Go give it a follow if you got TikTok. If you don't, go to YouTube. Same picture, same name. And give it a subscribe. And I'm also working now. So I'm working at Save a Lot stocking 3 days a week, which is great. I've been kind of wanting to get to work, and now it's worked out to where I'm working now. So I'm super excited. So there's a lot to talk about. So let's talk about what's, Valvoline signed a 5-year extension to stay with HMS through 2027. And they're going to run 3 races with Kyle Larson and 2 races with William Byron. So 2 at Byron, 3 with Larson through 2027. Now, Team Penske, there was a rumor going around that Shell Pennzoil was going to leave Team Penske and go to Joe Gibbs Racing to be Kyle Busch's sponsor. Well, that fell through as Team Penske and Shell Pennzoil signed a multi-year extension to keep sponsoring Joe Logano 30 races and keep sponsoring all the IndyCar stuff. So Shell Pennzoil not going anywhere, locked in, lock, stock, and barrel. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Re-signed with JTG Doherty, staying to 47 multi-year. We also have, Martin Truex Jr. is re-signed through next year. A lot of speculation about him retiring at season's end. What's the future going to hold for him? We don't know. No, Kyle Busch does not have a deal next year, but I think he ain't going anywhere, in my opinion. He's not leaving Toyota. He's not leaving Joe Gibbs Racing. Kyle Busch is one of the highest paid drivers in NASCAR. The only one other team that can afford Kyle Busch and give him what he asks for is HMS, and they got a full lock, stock, and barrel 4 drive. They're locked in. That's their team for the next 10, 20 years, in my opinion. That Bowman, Larson, Byron, and Elliott, they're not going anywhere. There's also a rumor too, by the way. I don't know if you heard this, not Travis, but Napa was rumored to be leaving HMS to go to Joe Gibbs Racing, which that wouldn't be a very good a good business move, because Chase Elliott is number 1 in merchandise, number 1, in apparel, and about 98% of the merchandise with Chase Elliott has Napa on it. There's some with Hooters and all that, but it's 99% all Napa. So I don't see them leaving a 20-something-year-old kid, early 20s, 2020 Cup champion, for a 2-time almost 40-something-year-old man. So I just don't see it being a good move. The 10 car is open, but did you hear? Eric Almirola is reconsidering retirement. So he might be back in the 10. That 10 car may not be as empty, but I wouldn't surprise. I think he's still going to stick to retirement. So the 10 car, I think it's going to be open, but New Hampshire found out he's been reconsidering retirement. So we'll see what's going on with Eric Almirola. So I want to talk about last year The big bombshell to me was Trackhouse Racing buying Chip Ganassi Racing, because nobody's seen that coming. So I want to talk about this driver right here, the Road America winner, the fifth first-time winner of this year, Mr. Tyler Reddick. You know, he won the two-time Xfinity Series champion, 2018, 2019, 2018 Junior Motorsports, 2019 Richard Childress Racing, and the 2 Chevrolet. The 2 was in Richard Childress Racing's museum. And the 8 car that he won, Road America, is on display at Richard Childress Racing, which will end up being moved to the museum. I thought with that win, you know, it's going to be locked down. You know, keep Childress and Reddick. You've heard me say this before. Childress needs to lock down Reddick, because he is going to be a superstar in the sport. Better year this year than last year. Had some ups and downs, a little more downs than ups this year. A lot of frustrating, you know, for him. But it all paid off with the Road America win, battling Chase Elliott. How cool was that, right? So, again, a lot of people are getting this wrong. He is contracted through next year. Contract has been signed, and he is back in this 8 car. I hear people saying that, you know, I don't know what the future holds for Reddick next year. You know, that's why he's re-signed through 2023 in the 8 car. He's not going anywhere. So, my opinion, you know, Tyler Reddick, here's how the announcement came down. So, basically, the ink just dried on his contract extension with RCR. And all of a sudden, Denny Hamlin's doing this press conference, Zoom meeting, whatever you want to call it, about it's like a progress report on the season about how the Gen 7 or Toyota or whatever it is. And all of a sudden, Tyler Reddick cuts into the feed, and the media's like, Tyler, you cut into the wrong feed. And Denny's like, actually, no, he didn't. Comes and sits down next to Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin introduces Tyler Reddick as the next driver to 2311 Racing. And then it ends up being, you know, Tyler speaking, and Tyler saying that, you know, he wants to finish what him and Richard Childress started, and Childress shouldn't be shocked that his contract was optional and it was picked up by Childress, instead of just letting him go and, you know, letting him find another home for a year. But Childress picked it up. He's back in the 8 through 2023. Yeah, so Tyler Reddick stated that he's very grateful to Childress for the opportunities that he's given him, and he wants to finish the ordeal that they started basically in 2020 when he replaced Daniel Hemrick in the 8. Now, in case you guys don't know, the 8 Caterpillar, the Caterpillar sponsorship is gone in NASCAR. No longer exists. It left the season. It left the beginning of the season, so they didn't really put too much news behind that. But I read a couple things early in the season that Caterpillar is no more in the sport of NASCAR. So, again, you know, Tyler Reddick, what's the future hold for RCR? This is the big thing. Is RCR going to sell their charter, possibly to Junior Motorsports, who Junior's been talking more and more about moving the Cup Series? The timing of this is very eerie, because if you think about it, you know, the 8 car, you know, that charter, you know, for the past year and a half, I've done videos on this on here, by the way, that Junior's been talks to, what I understand, to Childress about buying the number 8, getting it back to the Earnhardt family. Junior already owns it, you know, got it back in the Xfinity Series. He owns the 1, which I personally think he needs to buy the 15 from JD Motorsports and basically have Junior Motorsports DEI. Have the 1, the 15, and the 8. He needs to own those cars. And, of course, you know, keep the 7, the 9, whatever, but I think they need to get rid of the, you know, need to make a deal with the, personally, I like to see him get rid of the 9 and just put the 15 on the car and have, like, DEI, lower series DEI. I'm still waiting for that to happen. But I don't know how stiff JD Motorsports is about keeping that number 15, so we'll see. But I don't know if it's ever going to happen. But I believe the 8 will go to Junior and Cup Series before the 15 will fall in the Xfinity Series, you know, roster of numbers. So, again, you know, I mean, the timing of it, of Junior Motorsports, I think it's going to be 2024, 25. I had pretty much 2025. But then this Reddick announcement came out and shook the racing world. And now I think 2024 makes more sense because there's going to be a charter open. George Childress is going to sell that charter to Junior probably for a family rate. Basically, he's family to Childress. Not blood family, but, you know, connection with his dad through Childress and all of them growing up and everything. You know, Junior around Childress and Dylan and Ty Dillon. So I think there's, there's family history there. From his dad and whatever connection to Childress. So I think he won't get, you know, the price tag won't be as high as what Denny Hamlin paid for Starcom's charter for Kurt Busch this year, which I think I've done a video on how much it cost. I got a notebook from last year talking about that, how much he paid, but it's not pocket change. So again, the Riddick announcement, who's he going to replace? Is he going to replace Bubba Wallace? Is he going to replace Kurt Busch? Kurt Busch's contract expires at the end of 2023, which is going to put him in the 45. But there was a statement that came out immediately after the press conference that Denny Hamlin stated that if Kurt wants to keep driving until he's 58 years old, he can keep driving the 2311. He has a car. The same ain't being said for Bubba Wallace. Even though Bubba Wallace has all this glam, all this glory, all this, all this money and all these sponsorships thrown at him, he's not racing good enough, in my opinion, to keep everything that he's got. It's going to be like Danica Patrick. They threw everything at Danica, and then boom, it just dwindled, just trickled down to where she's no longer in the sport, and basically never was. Not being disrespectful, just stating a fact. I think she tried to be rushed too quick. They try to make her, a superstar by 24, by a year, 2 years, and it did not work. Fans it just was not working. So she's no longer in the sport. And I think Bubba Wallace is going to be kind of like that. You're going to kind of see him fade out. Right now, he's riding on this high. But I think Bubba Wallace's mind is other places where it don't need to be. He needs to focus on what writes the checks, where it matters. If you want to do stuff on your own time, do stuff on your own time, but bring it to the track, bring in your opinion, about stuff outside the track, needs to stay out there. Fire suit on, the sport's what matters. So, again, I've got my love-hate with Bubba Wallace and his mindset and everything. Not saying he can't say what he wants to say or believe what he wants to believe in. I'm just saying the way he's doing it is not right, was not handled right. And, getting rid of the rebel flag at Martinsville, NASCAR coming down, banning the rebel flag. That's petty, in my opinion. Anyway, so what else can we talk about? I personally think, here you guys go. Here's something I want to see what you guys think about it. So Martin Truex Jr. is contracted through next year to be in the 19. I think he's going to announce his full-time retirement. He's going to retire from full-time competition. And I think him and Dale Jr. are going to hook up and be co-owners of Junior Motorsports, and they're going to get this 8, and they're going to be reunited with the 8 number and the old DEI days. I think it's going to happen. That's just my opinion. Haven't really said too much about it, but I really think that it's not going to be Hendrick Motorsports backing the Cup Series of Junior Motorsports. I think it's going to be Truex and Dale Jr. fitness and getting back to the 8 where Truex won 2 Busch Series championships back-to-back. Was it 2004, 2005, 2005, 2006? But anyway, yeah, so I think that's going to happen. But also, we're seeing BK this year, which, by the way, I got a new hat from Amazon, which is pretty cool. Right here. Thing about that right there. Look at that. Not having the best season whatsoever. But I kind of knew this was going to happen. I knew it was going to be a throwaway year for BK. I really did. So I'm not really shocked that BK, but he did finish 7th at New Hampshire. So also there was a little run-in with BK and Austin Dillon, and I personally don't have an issue with what happened. They're in NASCAR, they're stock car, racers. So, it gets a little hot in the car, tempers flare, things happen. So it's just and my thing is, why is fans today getting mad when drivers touch, when they beat and bang and people are complaining about it? Like, I'm confused. Like, what are you doing? Like, really? Like, that's racing. There's a reason why the bump and run, beating and banging, trading paint, the chrome horn, and the, what's the other one? Beating and banging, Rubbins racing, there you go. Beating and banging, Rubbins racing, trading paint, the bump and run, and the chrome horn. There's a reason why they all exist in the sport of NASCAR. Just because they're not being used week after week, race after race, month after month, year after year, doesn't mean they don't exist. The beating, banging, trading paint, Rubbins racing, chrome horn, the bump and run, they all exist in the sport. So I just don't like how fans are getting, butt hurt because drivers are touching each other. Like, really? Like, what are they? If you don't want. Oh, by the way, congratulations to Tony Stewart Racing Nitro on getting their first Top Fuel win today with Leah Pruitt, Tony Stewart's wife. Congratulations. It's her 4th overall win, so I'm happy for Smoke right there. Awesome. I can't believe Tony Stewart is a co-owner of Cup Series team, SXR Racing co-founder, and Eldora Speedway owner, and he's also, an NHRA owner with 2 drivers, Matt Hagan in the funny car, and then his wife Leah Pruitt in the Top Fuel. So again, congratulations Tony Stewart Racing Nitro on getting their win with Leah Pruitt today, and their first win with her, and the Top Fuel win, and their 4th overall win. So that's pretty cool for Smoke. Big fan of Tony Stewart. Definitely a legend. But anyway, so what do y'all want to talk about? I mean, I'm going to get ready to do a video for YouTube's, and yeah. So, well, that's basically what's going on. So more news on. Oh, and by the way, New Hampshire recap. Congratulations, Justin Allgaier, who took that 7 Chevrolet Junior Motorsports to victory lane once again this year, doing the Darlington throwback, doing another Dale Earnhardt throwback, 2nd year in a row, got the W. That race was really cool. I got to watch that race at my wife's grandparents on Saturday, and it's basically a Colleague Racing 2-car battle. Then it was a Junior Motorsports 2-car battle. Then it was a Joe Gibbs Racing 2-car battle. And Trevor Bayne drove the 18. He's got one more race one more race now in this season. Landon Castle was competing for laps, for leading and trying to win the race. Sheldon Creed had a good run. And there was an issue with Noah Gragson, who wheel hopped, got into the 11 of Daniel Hemrick. Daniel Hemrick retaliated. He eventually, later on in the race, somebody went 3 wide in the middle, and they cut his tire down. He backed into the fence, and his day was done. Noah Gragson on probation from Road America, from that causing that multi-car pileup. Dale Jr. spoke about his opinion about it, and basically, it's Josh Berry, doing good this year. Got Tire Pros on the car, a new sponsor for him this year. I mean, it's just in graduation Trackhouse Racing, 3 wins this year. Ross Chastain get his first win at Road America, or COTA, beating it bang with A.J. Allmendinger, and then all of a sudden, him winning Talladega, and then you have Daniel Suarez winning Infineon. So 3 wins for a 2-year-old organization, not too bad. Track 2311 has 2 wins. Last year they won Bubba Wallace Talladega. This year Kurt Busch won at Kansas in 45 with Jordan Brand on the car. Also, did you guys hear that Ty Dillon and Petty GMS, brand new this year to Cup Series? GMS bought out Richard Petty Motorsports, but keeping Petty as a majority owner, who doesn't really have say what's going on with the 42 and 43. There's no contracts for Eric. There's nothing on the table for Eric Jones right now. Ty Dillon and Petty GMS have mutually decided to part ways after this season. So what does Ty Dillon's future look like next year? Who's going to be in the 42 next year? I'm hearing Noah Gragson. It's a name I keep hearing, but I heard a couple years ago he was going to go to Spire Motorsports, drive the 77 or whatever. But we'll see. It could be Noah Gragson piloting the 42. I think Petty GMS, with 30-year-old Ty Dillon, if you look at his history, he's not going to go out there and wreck you race cars week in and week out. He's a very sensible driver. He can drive a car. He's just kind of struggling. He's been struggling his whole career. Once he moved up the Cup Series, driving that 13 Geico for Germain Racing, which is no longer in the sport. They folded. And I think they may be looking for some younger series, Xfinity Series, or maybe Truck Series drivers like Ben Rhodes, John Hernimacek, Justin Allgaier, Josh Berry, Noah Gragson, Sheldon Creed, Austin Hill, which, by the way, Austin Hill, 2-time winner this year for Richard Childress Racing, won Daytona and Atlanta. And the cool thing about Atlanta, I watched the highlights of that race. And in Victory Lane, they talked to Richard Childress, and he said that Austin Hill has impressed him tremendously this year. That he doesn't get rocked. You can't play mind games with him. He's got one focus in the car. Doesn't matter who's on his bumper. He's staying focused straight ahead. And he said that he knew a guy like that once and did pretty well. So an Austin Hill, Dale Earnhardt Sr. reference with Austin Hill. How cool is that, right? If Childress does decide to keep the charter and they do stay with 2 cars, Austin Hill may be the guy that he's looking for to be that second car. But we'll see. He could sell it. I don't see Childress going down to a single car team. They'll have to get rid of their Xfinity Series program. I just don't see that happening. I think they're going to stay 2 cars, and I think Austin Hill will be the guy. I think Sheldon Creed's going to go elsewhere. He's got Willen on the car this year. He's new to the 2 car. So basically, 2022, here is Richard Childress Racing stable. Xfinity Series, Sheldon Creed in the 2, 21 is Austin Hill. Cup Series, Austin Dillon in the 3 and Tyler Reddick in the 8. And, you know, both the 8 and the 21 are in the playoffs. They got to get the 3 and the 2 in the victory lane, which Sheldon Creed had a good run at New Hampshire, but just couldn't get close enough to get, you know, to get that W. But also, after New Hampshire, Landon Castle and Noah Gregson, both those guys were disqualified in their finishing positions. They failed post-race inspection. Their car, one car was too high in the front of the back, the other one was too low in front of the back. So they redid top 5, and they're, you know, disqualified. So there you guys go. You guys are caught up on what's going on around the world. So racing world. I'm gonna get off here and do a YouTube's video and get a shower and get ready to lay down. Just want to go on here. Like I said, it's been busy, guys. Trying to get my YouTube up and going, my TikTok. I've been working, so I'm trying to get all this stuff done. And it's summertime. It's been really hot this year. Really had a chance. Went to River Days. Hope we had a wonderful 4th of July. We did. Got to go to the Ohio River and watch a band, watch fireworks and food and games, and it was just awesome. And yeah. And now here it's July 18th. It's almost, you know, August. It's almost fall time, guys. But I'll catch you guys there. Thanks for watching. And again, go to TikTok. If you got a TikTok, go to Checkers or Wreckers 3 with Tony Stewart and myself. Go to YouTube, Checkers or Wreckers with me and Tony Stewart, and give me a subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.